President Trump is ordering beef, pork, and poultry processing plants to remain open after coronavirus outbreaks hit in 4 states and shut them down. If you were president, what would you do? The options facing you aren't great. It doesn't just affect Americans. Your decision will affect people in countries all over the world, including our traditionally closest allies. You see, the United States is a net exporter of beef, pork, and chicken. Last year, exports of these 3 were just shy of $16 billion. We export 50% more beef than we import. We export 5 times as much pork. We export more than 10 times as much chicken and other poultry. As president, you face a balancing act between worker safety, more than 4,000 have been infected in 80 plants in 26 cities, and a looming shortage of pork and, to a lesser extent, beef. Chicken has not been affected, but more than 800,000 fewer cattle, hogs, and sheep were slaughtered in just the last week alone. As I wrote in my column at Forbes.com earlier this week, the president had 3 options, or so I thought. The first option was to restrict or forbid exports. The second option was to ask Americans to cut back voluntarily on pork chops, bacon, cheeseburgers, meatball subs, and the like for a couple of months. Chicken and fish, we import more fish than we export, by the way, remain options for the meat eaters among us. The third option was to let market forces decide. The fourth option, the one I didn't anticipate, was President Trump using the Defense Production Act to order the plants to reopen and the workers back to work. So, what would you have done? Careful if the first, restricting exports, seems like the obvious choice. There are 2 reasons. First, the biggest buyers of our beef, pork, and chicken are our friends: Canada, Mexico, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and yes, China, though largely for pork. Second, don't assume these countries won't find other sources and then not come back. This is what soybean farmers caught in the crosswinds of the US-China trade war are now fretting, that Brazil will have taken a market from us. From outside the Washington Beltway and inside the trade numbers, this is Ken Roberts, and this has been another episode of Trade Matters, because it does. Thanks for watching and sharing.